These are the instructions for making string art on wood rounds. Today we're making string art ornaments for holiday decorations. The materials that you're going to need are your string art templates, some thumbtacks, your string, embroidery floss works really well, or other colored thick string or thread, a wood round, and some scissors. The first thing that you're going to do is pick out which of the templates you want to use first, and you're just going to use your scissors to cut that template out. So I think I'm going to make this ornament right here. You don't need to cut this precisely. Just want to get your template cut out. Then you can go ahead and set the rest of them to the side. All right, the next thing that you're going to do is take your wood round and you're going to decide what you want the placement of the image to be. So do you want it to be sort of offset from where the string hangs? Do you want it to be right up close? You just want to make sure that you have enough room around all of the edges that you'll be able to put one of the thumbtacks into the wood and make sure that there is enough coverage there. So I like that setup, about like that. And then you're just going to take your thumbtacks and you're going to push one into each of the dots on the template. You don't want to push these all the way in. You want to leave a little bit of space so that, let's see if you can see, I'm not pushing these all the way in. I'm leaving a little bit of room so that I'm going to be able to take the paper out from under these and put the string around them. So they should push into these pieces of wood pretty easily. A soft wood ornament works really well. Just push all of these in. I'm just going to go around and put one into each spot. In your kit, if you have one of the Craft and Found exchange kits to do this, you should have some different colored push pins if you'd like to use different colors here. Different ones of the templates, the dots are spaced differently, so you can use different size push pins. These are just standard ones you'd get for a bulletin board. And we're just going to put one in each spot. They don't have to be perfectly even across because we are going to push them in once our art is done. So don't worry if they are not even in terms of how high they are right now. Last one. All right. So now you can get the template out two ways. You can take each push pin out one at a time, peel it back and put the push pin back in place, or you can just go ahead and tear this paper. If you wanted to reuse this template, I would suggest taking the push pins out one at a time and putting the pin back in. But I like the method where we just tear the paper and pull it right out, especially if you're doing this project with kids. They like to get in there and tear the paper out. Sometimes the push pin will come out when you pull the paper. That's okay, you just put it right back in place. Get all these little pieces out, and then you can just push those off to the side. All set with those. All right, so we have our template set. We have our push pins in. Then you're gonna pick the color of the thread that you wanna use. You can use more than one color, but I would suggest just starting with one. You're going to take just a little bit of it, and I find that it's really easy if you just tie a little bit of a slip knot. You don't have to do this part. Leave yourself a tail to work with and put that slip knot right around the one that you want to start with. That will help secure it in place. But you could always just start by wrapping around the first one if you don't want to do that slip knot. You do want a little bit of a tail though, because we'll be tying it off at the end. You're then just going to take your string and you're going to really just wrap in any direction you want. So depending on what the shape of your design is, you may want to make sure that you're going to the different sides of the thumbtack so that they will stay in place. But this is where your creativity comes in. You get to decide how you want to wrap this. So you could just go around one time. You could go around the whole thing just one time like that, have a very minimalist outline of your shape, or you can use these to create any kind of a pattern you want. So I think what I'm gonna do is go around this 2 times to get a nice thick edge here. So I'm going to go around the whole thing 2 times. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to start zigzagging a design across here. So this is where you get to decide how decorative you want this to be and how much sort of different sort of style. And that'll make each one of these really unique. And you can really pick how you want to do this. Let's see, we'll send one here. So I like, sorry about my dogs helping out with a little bit of noise during this. I think I like that. So I like that kind of design on mine. When you're done and you can do as much as you want. You can keep going back and forth, back and forth. You can add as many layers as you want. You could add another color of string in if you wanted some highlights of a second color of string or a third color. But when you finish each string, you want to make sure you bring your thread back up to the top where you started. And I'm just going to bring this tail over and we're just going to cut a little bit of a tail here with our scissors and then just tie these. So I'm just going to tie my 2 ends together and do a couple of knots right around one of the thumbtacks. And then you'll be able to cut those ends nice and short. So a couple strong knots here. This isn't like a load bearing kind of a situation, so just a few knots just to hold everything together. And then you can cut those tails nice and short. They should hide underneath the thumbtack. All right, so we'll cut these little tails off. Now I'm just going to go through and push each one of these push pins all the way down into the wood. These push pins are short enough and the wood is the right thickness that these are not going to push through. You're not going to have any sharp points on the other side. But depending on how tall the push pin is, you may want to just double check that your push pins are not pushing through and are sharp on the back side of your wood round. So that is the basic instructions for making your string art on a wood round or a string art ornament. You have this nice, you can hang it. You can always take these out and add more. You can tuck your little ends in more if you want those really hidden. You can add other colors to it and you can decorate around it. So have fun making your string art ornaments. And please feel free to check out all of our pre-made kits at Craft and Found.